Hi guys, welcome to another MTM video. My name is Mark and today in the workshop we have this Vauxhall combo that is in for lack of power and the engine management light is on the dash. Now we've been out on road test, the light is on the dash and it is flat as a pancake. It does not want to go anywhere when we're putting our foot down. So we've done a diagnostic scan with our launch tool and we've got two codes that keep coming back for engine, P1497 and P2562, position of the turbocharger. So we know there's definitely an issue somewhere with the turbo, so let's go take a look. So when you're investigating fault codes like we have here for the turbo position, a lot of the times you want to bring your attention to the wastegate. The wastegate opens and closes and there's a sensor attached to the back end of it, and if that's reading that it's not in the position that it's expecting, then you'll get fault codes. Now the turbo on this is fairly easily accessible, so it's just here. And the wastegate is underneath, so it is a little bit hard to get on camera. But when you first start the car, as soon as you turn the key and the engine starts running, the wastegate will normally move a little bit as it finds the correct position. Because the wastegate is located underneath the turbo, it's a little bit awkward to see from up top without stripping everything off. So you can stick a little camera down there, or like we've just done, we've stuck our phone in there. You can start the engine, give it a rev. It should move that wastegate, even if it's just ever so slightly, but we're not getting any movement with this engine. So with the wastegate not moving, that could be a couple of different issues. So it could be that the wastegate itself is jammed, there's an issue with the turbo itself, or there's not getting enough vacuum coming from this vacuum pump. Now, sometimes these can fail if they're not making enough vacuum. But because there's different sensors at various points on other systems, like the braking system, it's not detecting any kind of issues with the vacuum on those. So I'm not suspecting that it's going to be that. But a quick test is to just start the engine, take off that pipe, and see if it's going to suck on your finger. So you can prise it off gently. So set that to one side, and that is exposed there. And with the engine running, that's making a vacuum. So I'm happy with the operation of that vacuum pump. It was a nice strong pressure on the end of my finger. If you did want to check it against technical data, you can put a pipe on the end of that and connect it to the vacuum tester and read where the gauge sits. As long as it's sitting in within the limits of what the technical data says that it should be, then you know that that's going to be right. For the sake of getting to the bottom of this issue, I'm going to move on from that because I'm happy with the amount of pressure that I felt. And a really handy bit of kit is a vacuum tester. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect this tester so I can literally pump it up with a vacuum, see how much pressure is being built, and I can try and operate that wastegate manually. If it works and it moves freely, then I know it's not going to be an issue with that. So just down here where my hand is the solenoid that controls the vacuum pressure to the turbo. Just going to guide the pipe here. I'm going to put my little tester on the end of this pipe, which is connected to the back end of the wastegate. And if I create vacuum here, that rod should move if everything is okay. So with this connected up, it's just connected to the back end of the hose, which goes directly to the wastegate. And I'll put a camera down there so we are able to see if the wastegate moves or not. It's building pressure. Just release it. So hopefully now we do have footage of that rod moving. So with that pipe back on the vacuum pump, that goes off and trees off to the other various systems on the car. But there is a pipe that comes down here, goes down to the boost control solenoid, which is down there, and that controls how much vacuum gets given to the turbo so that it can variably control where the wastegate is. And this is literally the same test where you pull off the vacuum pipe, you can have the engine running and you feel it with your thumb there. And as long as you've got a vacuum here, you know vacuum is getting to this solenoid, but it, for some reason, isn't coming out of it. So we've done that same test again, and I'm really happy with the amount of vacuum that's being given to the solenoid. Because this solenoid is the last obstacle before it gets to the wastegate, I'm suspecting that's where our issue is going to be. These do really like to fail internally, and they're really common, so let's get it replaced. So here's the new part. There's the part number for anyone who's interested. And you'll notice on here, you can see where it fits to the car. There's two little prongs there. Normally there's two 10mm that fit in there to hold it secure. There's an electrical plug. It's only a 2-pin plug, just because this is just an off and on switch. And there is normally, well, on here there's 3. So you've got the vacuum pressure in, the vacuum pressure out, which goes to the wastegate, and you'll normally have a third one, which usually goes to just vents off to atmospheric. Let's go and try and get the old one off and get this new one fitted. Now this is quite fiddly, so it's awkward to get the camera in, but just down here, right by the side of the oil filter housing, is where that is. There's a little fitting on top of this 10mm. So using a screwdriver, we should be able to prise that off. So now we have access to this top 10mm, and there's nothing on the bottom one. Okay, so we should be able to move this away. Now I have access to the plug and that last pipe that's on there. There you go. The old one is out. So now the new one is going back on. It's very important not to mix up which of these goes to where, because it's very specific. So you have to put them back on exactly how it came off. So let's start with the electrical connector first. Make sure the electrical connector is all the way home, and then it's not going to just wiggle off with the vibration of the engine. So we'll just tighten it back onto the bracket. So now it is just make sure that all of these pipes are all the way home. So now it's just a case of start the engine, see if that wastegate moves, clear all the fault codes, and take it on a road test. So everything is plumbed back in, engine's running, there's no fault codes instantly come back, so I'm happy with that. And no lights on the dash apart from that it's due a service. Time for a road test. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I put my foot down, I can feel the turbo kicking in, everything's working as it should be. Job done. So now let's get back to the workshop. So that is it for this video, guys. That's another job done. If you've liked this video, if it's helped at all, please give us a like, drop a comment if you have any questions, and please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one. Cheers.